Hi friends, it's Tonya here with My County Link, and today we have information that the holiday horse parade, the equine portion, has been canceled. And I kind of wanted to pop on here and explain that to you because it is, in my opinion, a wise and educated choice that Main Street Greenville and the chairperson, Madison Werner, had made. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. I did reach out to Madison and get some information from her, and she is the chair of the parade, and she's done a phenomenal job. She coordinates it, she gets it together. Of course, there's lots of volunteers that make it happen, but she is the core person for that. So she's instrumental in getting the horse parade together and downtown so that everybody can enjoy that. So let's just talk about a little bit about why this has happened. So when the outbreak had first been heard of, she contacted multiple sources. She wanted to ensure that she had clear, accurate, and professional guidance. She spoke with several local veterinarians, the equine specialists from the Ohio State University, to get the facts and see what we're dealing with here, right? She wanted to be certain that any decision that they made was based on information, credible and responsible information. She then shared her findings with Main Street Greenville, and with numerous equine events and shows across the region being canceled, they collectively decided to cancel the equine portion. So I want to keep that in mind. It's just the equine portion, which I know is a big part, but let's get into why that is, okay? So the horses deserve, obviously, the best care. And in my personal opinion, we as equestrians must always put the horses first. So at this time, there is no Ohio cases that have been confirmed. Now, one thing that is the concern, you may say, well, then why are we canceling that part? Because there's been many horses who have recently traveled home from Ohio or traveled home to Ohio from the affected areas at the events in Oklahoma. So with that much movement comes across too much uncertainty, right? So it's just not worth the risk. It's a very highly contagious disease. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit here. So what is the EHV1 equine herpes virus? So it's a contagious virus that affects horses and other equine species. It spreads through close horse-to-horse contact, contaminated equipment, shared water sources, and even respiratory droplets. So you could see how if just one of those horses would be affected, how easily this would spread among all these horses for the parade. So it also can cause fever, respiratory illness, abortion in pregnant mares, and in some cases a dangerous neurological form known as equine herpes, myeloencephalopathy, known as EHM. Now, if you've ever seen a horse with EHM, you will quickly understand why this disease is so important to keep at bay and to keep those horses that are contaminated with it quarantined and try to get this virus stopped. It poses no risk to humans. It can spread quickly, though, among horses, obviously. I'm thankful personally to Madison and the Main Street Greenville for their commitment to provide facts and keep the health of the horse as a priority. So just keep this in mind. The parade isn't canceled. It's just being pivoted, right? So sometimes in life, we just have to pivot, and it's okay. We're Dark Countyans. We can do this. They're just pivoting. It's a necessary pivot. So it's going to go from horses to like truck and tractor, side by side, that kind of thing. The Main Street Greenville has a post on their Facebook page if you want to read about what that's going to entail and how you can participate in that. So for all those, the equines that we're bringing the horses out today, or for this Saturday, parade, obviously, thank you. It takes a lot of commitment. It takes a lot of time. There's a lot of money involved in that. So it's always appreciated. But we understand why you're not coming this time. And so maybe you could flip and do a different, of course, of action with a tractor or a wagon or whatever they're allowing. So just find out those information. But I would encourage you to still participate in any way that you can, right? So the festivities will still continue. There'll still be Santa coming downtown. When the Santa gets back to the tree, they'll light the Christmas tree. So the unity of the community is still going to be there. I encourage you all to still come out and have a great time. I did text back and forth with Madison, and Madison would like to thank everyone for your understanding and your continued support. Like I said, it takes a lot of time and effort. So she's done a great job. Many hands hands make light work. There's been a lot of volunteers and so forth, but I think that Madison, the chair of this, and Main Street Greenville have made the correct decision. You have to put these animals at the forefront for their health. So it's important as a community that we rally around this. Let's still make this horse parade fun. I shouldn't say horse parade now, right? The holiday parade fun. But let's just still make it fun. We just have to pivot. We're strong. We can do this. We're resilient. We are praying for all of the equine horses and their families that have been affected by this. A little bit of reading that I've done, I've been kind of following it. It looks like there was maybe a barrel show type event in Texas, and then they traveled to Oklahoma, and so there's been some that has went from one to the other. And like I said, there's a lot of Ohio horses coming home from the big show down in Oklahoma, so that's where that part comes from. So if you're saying, well, why did they go? Well, lots of times the symptoms don't show up until a little bit later. So people are encouraged that are and concerned of being contaminated to quarantine their horses. So they keep their trailer, their equipment, everything away from the rest of the equine, especially at their farm. And then they check them regularly for temperatures. They work with their vets and that type of thing, because it does take a little bit for it to show itself, which is why it can spread so quickly. And they're just not, it's just not something that you can take a chance on if you don't have to, right? So just pivoting. Parade is still happening. It's just going to be a little bit different. So again, I encourage you to rally and still come down and support this fun event that we have in our community. They will be, again, the Santa will be there. There'll be lighting of the tree. They'll have the tribute to the person for the tree that we talked a little bit earlier on my Tuesdays with Tonya with Eric Fee of Tribute Funeral Homes. So they will have that down there as well. And then Santa will light the tree. So we look forward to still seeing you on Saturday. And if you have questions about this, you can comment here. I'll do my best to answer, find out what I can for you. I think Madison has done a great job of getting all the facts and the information out for you. So I think that is great. So just again, continue to support Darke County and get out there and let's all have a good time. So we'll see you Saturday.